Hello, welcome back to Kiai Gaming. My name is Alex. Today I'm going to take a look at a couple of Test of Honor starter set warbands. Here I have a couple of 24-point warbands that you can make using only the contents of the Test of Honor starter set. These warbands are split into blue team and red team just for starter set purposes. If you are going to a tournament or going to play someone who has their own warband, something like that, then you could absolutely mix the colors as much as you want. But for starter set purposes, these warbands are split into blue team and red team. So each of these warbands has a samurai package and a commoner package, and they look similar, but they also have their differences as well. So let's take a closer look at each warband in more detail. Okay, so first up we have the blue team, and this warband consists of a samurai package of 3 samurai cards and a commoner package of 5 commoner cards. So the samurai package here consists of a hero, which you have to take as a mandatory part of your warband, and also his 2 retainers as well. In your warband you can have up to 2 retainers for your hero. So these guys are arguably the most powerful dudes in your warband. Try to keep them safe, but also try to use good judgment on when to attack with them. Their increased number of activations means that it's easier to do things with them during a game. But at the same time, part of the game is about trying to reduce activations from models so that they're easier to take down. Because once a model doesn't have any activations, then generally, they can't defend themselves, and so it's easier to take them out. It's kind of the game's suppression mechanic, if you like. So as you can see, the samurai hero has 5 across the board for a stat with 3 activations, whereas the 2 retainers have 4 across the board with 2 activations. Here we have the commoner package for the blue team, which consists of a sergeant, Lord Spearmen, experienced spearmen, Lord Bowman, and a musket man. The sergeant has an ability that says order the charge. After the sergeant makes a move action, in addition he can order a friendly commoner within 6 inches to charge as a free action. There must be a suitable target within range. So basically he gives one of the spearmen a free attack, because in Test of Honor you have to charge with a melee model if you want to make an attack with them. So even if they've already used up their activation for whatever reason, maybe to avoid an attack which uses up an activation in the game, or to make an attack of their own, the sergeant can give them a free attack. So this is a small example of how abilities on certain models in Test of Honor actually break the rules. Okay, next we have the spearmen themselves, Lord Spearmen and experienced spearmen. They look similar, but they're actually different. They both have the ability that says if there's 3 of them left, they get +1 to their +1 dice to their Test of Honor. And if there's 2 or 3 of them left, they get +1 dice to their Test of Aim, basically their strike roll. However, the Lord Spearmen have a Test of Wits of 3, whereas the experienced spearmen have a Test of Wits of 4. But the Lord Spearmen have 4 + 1 on their Test of Honor, whereas the experienced spearmen have 3 + 1 on their Test of Honor. So for the purposes of this warband, those differences don't really matter all that much. But if you're making your own warband, then you could experiment with, different builds, and whether you need the Test of Honor dice, do you need the Test of Wits dice? It all depends on what you think you're going to face in your games. Okay, next we have the Lord Bowman, which are in the warband to demonstrate range. They look similar to the Lord Spearmen, and they do have similar stats, except of course these guys are ranged. So a bow in this game can fire up to 24 inches away, although it gets worse if you're firing at over 12 inches. But as you can see, they have similar stats and abilities to the Lord Spearmen. If there's 3 of them in the group, they get +1 to Test of Honor, and if there's 2 or 3 of them left, they get +1 to their Test of Aim. And finally for the blue team we have the Musket Man, who again is in this warband just to demonstrate the mechanic. So in Test of Honor, muskets can fire from up to 20 inches away, and their damage roll is actually 4 dice. However, they have to reload before they can fire again. So normally this means that you would fire on a turn, and then the next turn you'd have to spend your action to reload, and then turn after that you could fire, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's move on to the red team. And here in the samurai package we have 2 samurai, a samurai hero and a wise samurai. There are only 2 of them in the red team because there are only 5 samurai in total in the Test of Honor starter set. So one team got 3, the other team got 2. However, the red team does have an additional command model in these warbands to make up for their lack of samurai. Here we have the commoner package for the red team, which consists of a banner bearer, sergeant of archery, experienced bowman, Lord Bowman, Lord Spearmen, and Musket Man. The Musket Man and the Lord Spearmen are in here just because it's nice to, again, show off the mechanic for both teams. And the Spearmen are here because, you know, why not have a melee, a group of melee models in the Warband. However, as you can probably tell, this Warband is kind of more shooty than the blue team. And that's on purpose to kind of show off what it's like to play with a more shooty Warband. So we have a Sergeant of Archery as a command model who has an ability called Concentrate Fire. If the Sergeant of Archery is within 3 inches when a group of bowmen shoots, the group gains +1 die to the strike roll. So you want to basically keep them together with the bowmen so that, you know, they get the extra dice on their strike roll, on their test of aim. Moving on, this Warband has a couple of bowman groups in contrast to the blue team, which has a couple of spear groups. So the difference between experienced and loyal for the bowman is the same as it is for the spearmen. The experienced bowmen have 4 on their test of wits, whereas the loyal bowmen have 3. However, the loyal bowmen have 4+1 on their test of honor, whereas the experienced bowmen only get 3+1. So again, if you're building your own warband at some point in the future for a tournament or something, then, you know, it'd be up to you to make maybe a meta call or something like that, you know, some kind of judgment on what you think you're going to face. But for the purposes of this warband, both cards are in the set, so why not include both? Okay, and finally we have a banner bearer who has an ability called Defend the Flag. If the banner bearer is within 6 inches when a friendly commoner attempts to avoid an attack, add +1 die to the roll. So he basically makes any commoner better at dodging attacks. And the model also has the the large banner, which is fun to kind of model and really make your own. His stats are the same as any other command model in the set. 3-3-3-3, 4 for the test of honor, and 1 activation. Do bear in mind though that his ability does say commoner and not samurai, so he makes your commoners better, but not your samurai. Okay, so that was a quick look at a couple of examples of 24-point warbands that you can make using nothing more than the contents of the Test of Honor starter set. These are only examples, so please feel free to take them, make them your own, learn with them, experiment with them, maybe add some cards from the expansions if you have expansions. Basically do what you want with them. As always, be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with new videos on the channel. And also, if you think someone else might like this video, then be sure to share it with them as well. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks very much for watching, and until next time, see ya!